All right, we rejoin some action here at the WAC with Piedmont up 6-0 on the Huntingdon Hawks. In some lacrosse action, 4 minutes and 38 seconds left in this first quarter, as now LaGrange moving around the horn. Lions know they were coming in with a very good chance to defeat LaGrange in this contest. Common opponent for them, William Peace. Lions beat them by 10. LaGrange, not so hot. And this one's stolen away by the Lions, as carrying the high stick around very quickly is Pagano. He's going coast to coast. He wants a goal. He's got it. Andrew Pagano just taking no prisoners right out of the gate, and it's 7-0.
Take it. He was high-stepping for that one.
Yeah, he was. He was certainly high-stepping.
Like a welcome surprise after a tough game 2 for softball, but hey, 7-0's a good thing to see.
Yeah, and we just kind of popped in your feet, everybody. Eric Evanson here with Graham Prather. Here with you this afternoon. Well, not even the afternoon anymore, into the evening. All the time's got us messed up. It's been a long time here at the WAC for us today. And everyone's set up for another face-off. That one's going to be won out of the face-off by Dieterle. And John Dieterle trying to scoop and slam. This one's way in the air, bringing it out of the sky. And off the ground is going to be the Lions. As taking this one is Noah McGriff. McGriff will hand it off to Whitmore. And Whitmore cradles from well outside. Just trying to maybe burn a little bit of time here. Drops it on the ground. No biggie. McGriff and Whitmore pass back and forth with 3 minutes 20 seconds left. Whitmore now finds a way through, looking to charge. Under 30 on the shot clock, in fact under 20. Big move here, and that one just bounces out of the area. Not a bad shot by Isley. Ian Parr in the back will collect this one.
You do get a reset in the shot clock, though, for that, which is good to see.
You do.
Hit the goalie, so it's a benefit.
It'll help the shot on goal percentage. Regular season finale here at home for the Lions. Had another great season here at the WAC. They'll travel to Greensboro in just a couple days, and that's how they'll conclude their regular season, as we just continue to tick time on the clock. And once we get to about 20 seconds, everything will start moving again. Ian Parr in the X moving quickly, trying to find someone to pass to, finds inside. Now this one just well wide. McGriff, not that calculated of a shot, and uh-oh. Oh no. Isaac Harrington is down on the turf, and he's in some real pain, clutching that right knee. Oh, no. I didn't see exactly what happened to Harrington. But after the shot, he tried his best to support himself and immediately hit the turf. He's back on his feet now. He's going to walk off slightly on his own power, but with a noticeable limp. And that's not what you want to see from Isaac Harrington. He's already got a brace on that knee as the Lions approach playoffs.
Yeah, you got a good 10-day rest or so until that happens, but you got to hope it's not anything that'll last more than a week, because another thing you don't want is you don't want him to get rusty. You don't want him to have to miss a couple practices and then come back to a lineup he hasn't seen in a couple of days and then lose that chemistry.
Harrington's such a focal point of this Lions team this season. I assume he's done for the day. There's no need to play him against LaGrange. for the rest of the day, and again with playoffs approaching. But the show must go on as the Lions keep everything moving. And that'll be a shot clock violation, I believe that was. So it'll be a turnover on Piedmont. And LaGrange will get the ball back here. Or Huntingdon, excuse me. I called them LaGrange several times.
Like you said, it's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
The red confused me.
It does, yeah. Well, they both have really nice, bold red uniforms, so hey, it makes sense.
This one dump pass inside by Huntingdon. And Pagano wraparound trying to knock that loose, and I think we'll have a whistle here. Let's see who that's going to be on. I think that's going to be on Pagano as he walks over,
That's his typical aggressiveness. I love it.
I don't know how much Andrew can get away with on that one. So he'll have a spot in the box.
I would like to see him at a Mike linebacker. I want to see what that's like.
So Huntingdon gets this ball back. Kelsey Marston passes off to the far side. Back to the top. Near side now. Huntingdon using a lot of passes here, just trying to disrupt this Lions defense. This Lions defense very good, though. So if you're going to try it, you're going to need a real good game plan to break it. Now creeping up towards just 30 left on the shot clock. And this one is going to air out to the right side, and this one is put through. Right past Mike Isley in net. And the shutout is no more as Huntingdon puts one up, 7-1.
As soon as you said the defense was good, of course, they had to go and score. But
right.
I think that Huntingdon exploited the usual flaw of this Lions defense, which is you kind of let things happen, and then you converge when you find the right opportunity. And obviously, Huntingdon got it right behind the net in too quick of a time, and Mike Isaac couldn't do much about it.
Glenzinski off with a face-off. Trying to get this ball and win it, and he does. But being pushed deep into his own territory as Huntingdon takes the ball away. Wanting a foul there, they get nothing. And a fantastic job to stand sturdy by Couchton right on the yellow. And he's able to carry the ball all the way over to where the Lions can have an offensive opportunity.
Yeah, that's my line, is what he was saying. I own that. I'm going to run straight through you.
Everyone wrestling for this one, and LaGrange's defense is going to be able to come up strong there. Liam Angst in the cage for them as time expires here in the first quarter. Well, sorry to join you so late, but hey, we're here now for the rest of the action at the regular season finale for the lacrosse squad at the WAC. So we're going to throw it to a break and then bring you back with some more action as the Lions look to take down the Huntingdon Hawks here in Demarest. You're watching Piedmont Lions Lacrosse on YouTube. Welcome back, everybody. Eric Evans in here with Grant Prather. And Grant's going to carry us through the second quarter. Grant.
Appreciate it.
I got to mention as well, Tristan Hunt on camera for us this evening.
It was a pretty breezy first quarter for the Lions, 7-1 with a late score from Huntingdon, as we had to join you about 5 minutes in due to the softball games running late. You had a 10-inning game and a 12-2 game, so that was unexpected.
We got it done.
Face-off won by Dieterle, and he's fighting through. Goodness gracious, John.
Oh.
John, oh boy. That's my future roommate over there. I like that. So the Lions will work it around after that nice strong play by Dieterle. Looks like Zach Avila over there. Goes over to Whitmore, back to Zach. Zach will work his way over back to Whitmore. Whitmore tried to whip it through, but saved in net for Huntingdon.
That was a fantastic save by Anks. And that was a great look for the Lions as well. They were really able to keyhole that one. And
oh. Goodness. Who is that? Looks like Miller. Yeah, Miller Bice took a weird tumble.
I think he might have taken a shot to the family jewels.
Yep. Not exactly where you want to see. Obviously, Miller was out with a leg injury all of last year, so you got to hope that's all it is. While he's down, we're going to step away as Haddon, Carswell, Piedmont, and Goat's going to come check on him. We'll be right back. This is Piedmont University Athletics on YouTube. Miller's up and okay. Turf Monster's just getting to people today. I think that's what it is. Nonetheless, I think the Lions still have possession here. 14:05 left in quarter number 2. Looks like subbing in for Bice is going to be Noah McGriff. Could be wrong about that, but McGriff came running on, so. And we're back underway. Be Whitmore, or we'll toss it back to Zach. Zach will go back to JoJo. Zach goes to the right in it. Big shot and a good save again by Angst. Zach, a little jump shot off 1 foot. Hit the ground and then hit the stick of Angst, and the Lions will stick with it, though. Troy Mears goes to Avila. With Will Isley. Big action from the Lions, and another good save by Angst. 3 straight. So Huntingdon with a little chance for some offense here. Only 1 goal put up in the first quarter, and Piedmont was controlling their pace that first time, and running with it for the Hawks looks like Austin Smith. Kelsey Marston back near the X here. Big pass to Brennan Britton. Britton to Tristan Dial. Huntingdon remains with it. Josh Nost on the inside. Over to Britton. Huntingdon taking their time here. Got 35 on the clock, over halfway down. Working around the back now. Here's back to Marston. Marston, big pass back to Britton. Couldn't handle it. Trying to track it down to the Lions, and Troy Mears can't get to it, so Britton now with 20 on the clock. Nost's got it. Flips to Marston. 12 on the clock for the Hawks. Got to work quickly. Under 10 now. Single digits left. This one goes to the back. Huntingdon works it around. It's Britton with it. Tries to get a shot off and doesn't get in through. Mike Isley and the Lions stand tall for a good defensive possession.
Yeah, what a fantastic job for the Lions defensively. They crash on the man with the ball. They crash on the carrier. And they force a shot that was going to be nowhere really near composed enough. And again, the Lions' goal is strong. And what a good way! Yeah, what a good way to go from a fantastic defensive possession to an automatic offensive possession.
Yeah, it was a great job by Colin Hackshaw to translate quickly off of the outlet pass, hit it into Parr, and then he hit it. I believe that was to Ike Harrington over there, who has re-entered. So glad he's okay.
Yeah,
might have just tweaked it.
Fans are glad to see Hackshaw back on the field.
Had a bit of a stress fracture in his foot. Track star, too. He's traveling with the team to go do some pole vaulting as well. He was a multi-sport athlete last year, doing the same thing this year. Oh, a big push by Dylan Hitterman, but obviously no call. Just kind of bad momentum for the Lions, and they'll still stick with it, it looks like, yeah. And that sun's getting in the way. Here we go, Eric.
Yeah, this is the fun part of broadcasting here at the WAC.
See the thing is, the little window here, it's good for me because I'm tall, but if I got to go through the door, it doesn't really work because it's a bit taller. But got a couple hours of that. Should be fun. Lions with it with 52 on the clock. Nick Winter goes over back to Harrington. Harrington goes right in. A good lefty shot. Goes straight past Angst, and Harrington puts the Lions up 8-1. 9-1, excuse me.
I'm about to say easy now.
Yeah. Got to give credit where credit's due. Nah, it's a slight mistake. But, yeah, Harrington, immediate impact as soon as he comes back in. So 9-1 ball game. 11:22 left in the second quarter of this contest. Huntingdon came in with a 2-5 conference record. Piedmont with a 5-1 conference record. And their next contest for the Lions will be against Greensboro, who comes in at 3-3 in conference. So should be a good battle, and a good battle here for the face-off. Still on the ground, picked up by John Dieterle. Dieterle in transition falls over again. John, put your body on the line. Ian Parr just barely missed the shot. John's been everywhere. Goodness gracious. Got to put some knee pads on for that. Lions will stick with it to Ian Parr. It's Hasbrook to Avila to Parr. 60 on the 80 shot clock for the Lions. Ian Parr with the long hair flowing in the wind, and a little bit of a ground ball here and a big battle near the net. Coming out of it, the Lions, and it's Hasbrook with it. Zach Avila now at the top with 40, halfway down the shot clock. Lions with a lot of room to work with that 8-goal lead as Hasbrook works his way in. Big shot over through the goal. So 33 on the clock, so stick with it. It's Will Isley will come out. Taking with it, goes from the shade to the sun. Flips to Parr. And the Lions taking their time trying to get a good shot off. As Isaac Harrington's lurking in the middle with Ian Parr right next to him. Parr drives in, big shot off the foot of Angst. And we'll work it down to 18 on the clock, and the Lions, that was a shot attempt, so they'll stick with it. Hasbrook goes by the soccer net on the side. Back underway. Quickly working, Lions score. Ian Parr comes around the side, and the assist from Jacob Hasbrook will help him out.
This is exactly what you like on the final day of the season at your home. Just come in, get an opponent that you're not going to be too stressed about. Obviously, Lions might be a little bit worried about Isaac Harrington. Actually, no, there he is. There's Isaac. I just noticed that he's back in there. So you know what? No worries at all. Just maybe let's not scare anybody else. Let's not scare ourselves with anything too extreme.
After Pfeiffer, this is a very, very good game to rebound to.
Yeah, the Pfeiffer game definitely. I think the Lions learned a lot from it. I think they got a good amount of rest from it, and they come back and they're going to be a little stronger. But more importantly, they're going to know what to expect coming into it. Because I mean, look, we can look at these two teams on paper between Pfeiffer and Piedmont and say these are two of the best teams in the South. That is without a doubt, right? I mean, the only conference loss that Piedmont has, it's to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer's 6-0 in the conference, right? These two, should things continue as such, and if we have the same result as last year, they're going to see each other again.
Yeah, conference is very top-heavy. Pfeiffer and Piedmont. Pfeiffer are on track to host the conference tournament. As the Lions are working in, is Miller Bice underneath the par, and he goes backhand to put him up at a chest bump. 4-44, and the connection keeps the Lions lead going. Good vision from Miller to find Ian there, and it's a great connection. So 11-1 with 9 minutes left in quarter number 2. Got to start wondering about the program goal record here. I think it's 26.
Yeah, I think it is 26, but also the Lions, they know when they like to hold the brakes sometimes. There's never you don't want to show up your competition a little bit too much, and we've seen the Lions do that once or twice before.
Yeah, you start to see the fourth quarter is probably going to just be a bit more of holding for some possessions, maybe get a shot off if you want to. But if it's not there, don't risk it. You don't want another Isaac Carrington situation happening where someone will get injured. You only got one game in the regular season left. That's Greensboro on Saturday. And playoffs. We're already here. Like I said in the softball broadcast, April's going down as the Lions. Zach Avila sends one down to the net. Zach gets in on the fun. You cut me off as I was making that phrase. Come on, man.
Come on, Zach. What the heck, man?
Come on, dude.
You can yell at him about it tomorrow.
Why'd you have to be so? Yeah, exactly. When I see him in class, man. Had to do such a good radio show with him last night, and then gotta go.
He comes out and spoils your call like that.
No, why'd you have to make it 12-1?
I'm saying.
Goodness gracious. Back at it though, Lions decked out in the typical white and red. Huntingdon with the silver and red helmets and then red jerseys. Good little color clash. Almost like it's Christmas time out there. A good ground ball picked up by the Hawks, and fumbling around with it are the Hawks, and that's Lexington Acevedo with it. It goes back to Angston. Now running with it with the sleeve on the leg is Austin Smith. So settling is Josh Nost. Maybe their bench. Flips it to Jackson McMonagle. Working quickly are the Hawks with some fast passes with 45 on the shot clock. Britton on the inside. Flip blocked. And a good save by Mike Isley as a little bit of cluster up happened, and Carson Vikos has got it.
Real sharp eye by Mike Isley. That was not intended at all. That ball just happened to find the middle ground in happenstance. And a good job by Mike Isley to just not lose sight of that ball no matter what it was doing, because you had the initial shot and then it was blocked and then you had someone else pick it up right in front of him and he was still able to recover. It's just a good keeper and a good goalie back there.
And they were right next to him too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Had to have a lot of patience with that one. Miller Bice working it inside. Good flip by Nick Winter, just missed the shot. And Huntingdon comes up with it. So Nick couldn't get the shot up. Couldn't get it through. It was a good look. Went off the foot, though. They've had a lot of low shots against Angst today. Is Huntingdon with another shot on their own end. It's Nost to flip it over.
About just under 7 minutes left here in this half. 6:50 or maybe 6:45 at this point now.
About halfway done. Lions taking care of business as expected. This wasn't supposed to be a close game, but doing better than I thought they were going to. I think better than a lot of other people thought they were going to. 12-1 is a very, very good start with 6 minutes as Huntingdon works their way in. Hounded. Isley didn't get a touch on the save, but it missed anyway. So Huntingdon, because it was a shot, will stick with it. And it's Nost. Tried to juke out Winner over there. Not to be denied is Nick. Good stick work by the Lions. Isley, way to tap it out. And we'll stay with it, will the Hawks. Referee signals, and here we go. Back of the net of the Hawks. Getting hounded by the defense here. It's Andrew Pagano doing what he does best. Now a foot race for it. Around the half-court, mid-court, midfield line. And Huntingdon's got it. And, ooh, tough break. So Pagano now defending. As the Hawks will work it in. Did spin move and miss the shot. Looks like some tough momentum there from Connor Angst, goalie's brother. Lefty goes back over to Nost. Nost jukes out on the inside, goes right in on Isley, and a good save by Mike Isley. But yeah, a big whistle called as some physicality was put on by Austin Sprout on that one, but it'll go the Lions' way. It looks like he just a missed shot anyway. Big outlet pass. Was looking for Nick, but couldn't get it. Getting towards 5 minutes now as Huntingdon will have a reset of their shot clock and have their own time to try to put one through. Kelsey Marston. Hawks with 60 taking their time, not moving in just yet. It's Tristan Dial with it on the right near the referee. He's just taking his time in the shade, getting his time out of the sun. Not too hot today, but 68 degrees on a turf field with some full sunlight. It's a bit of a change-up after the couple of days we just saw. About 2 weeks ago, it was really, really cold. Huntingdon moving inside, but some great defense by Eric Fuel will hold on to him. 33 on the clock. John Dieterle defending. As Huntingdon works it back around. And it'd be Sprout near the back of the net trying to guard, helping out Isley. Sprout on the defense, holding him down. Spin move goes over. 18 on the clock, and Huntington's got to pull it out. More great one-on-one defense from the Lions. Now it's Eric Fuel. Stars Milk Products starring out on the defensive end, holding him over. And a bit quick shot almost caught Isley off guard. That was a great decision by Marston to try to put one up. Nearly caught him lacking, but they'll get a full reset since it hit him. Again, Carson Vikos out there on the defensive, and we don't see him too much. He's got the brace on his leg. Senior.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see some faces that we don't usually see later on in this game.
Should be a good day for some freshmen. The Wild Sports Communications major Max Peak might see some minutes. Shout out. Big shot goes through Isley. It was a great looking shot by Jackson McMonagle, and that'll go right through. Makes it 12-2. Comes with 3:42 left in quarter number 2, so just a little bit of a nick in the docket for the Lions. Nothing too bad. 10-run cushion as the shadow on the pole starts to creep over towards that midfield crest now. Shadows themselves are from the trees are getting near the midfield too. A lot of those players on that side are happy about that. Big face-off. Ground ball is going to go to the Lions. Colin Hackshaw is the one with it. Hackshaw getting hounded by 2. Finds his way through. Colin.
Yeah, that foot looks pretty good.
Yeah. Works his way over to par as Colin will jog off. Get some high fives on the way down. Good job, Colin. As Hasbrook passes over to Zach Avila. Avila working his way inside, but he'll pull it out with 55 on the clock. Goes over to Will Isley. Jumped up for that one. Off of the stick, Hasbrook having to focus for it. Ground ball. Goes to Zach. 45 on the clock now. Lions working with it. Goes back to Hasbrook. Hasbrook whip shot through. High velocity, and Angst couldn't keep up. Lions lead 13-2.
Nice to get that goal right on back.
Whatever you can do, I can do better. That's the motto here. Clearly, the score reflects that, 13-2.
All right, let's hope Dieterle stays on his 2 feet.
Yeah. The turf burn from his knees is going to really, really hurt tomorrow. I have a weird feeling. Let's see.
2 bags of ice are waiting for him on the sideline.
Yeah. Well, he's still up now. His ball, after a long ground ball. Oh, there's someone on his knees. There you go. Picked up. Good focus by the Lions, and Ike Harrington's going to be the one with it. So, yeah, John stayed on his knees this time, or stayed off of his knees this time. Lions taking their time, 20 off the clock already. Working it over to Bice. Bice back with it with 50. Working it inside, and a good save by Angst. Stops the idea from Joseph Whitmore there. As Huntingdon, as time's ticking away, under 2 minutes now. And for Huntingdon, it'll be Reed Everett. As a bumblebee has worked its way into the booth now.
Ain't gonna hurt you.
I always get scared of him. Looks like it was scared of me.
You're good, Tristan.
Springtime in Georgia. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Well, sometimes. Unless you see that big yellow haze.
I was about to say I got about 30,000 yellow particles on my car that might disagree with you.
30,000 V1 doesn't sound too favorable to me as Huntingdon works it around. 35 on the clock, so they're taking their sweet time in this possession. Trying to work it out so the Lions don't have too much time on their end. Maybe they just try to get a shot to reset the shot clock. Back of the X, it's Kelsey Marston. It's Nost there, 20 now on the clock. Yeah, just a little bit of cat and mouse game going on. 15 now. Nost going inside on Sprout. Big contact. Sprout holds up on it. And Carson Vikos has got it. So Sprout, big physicality as Vikos doing a little bit of fake out. Oh, good. Carson Vikos.
Oh, what a pass.
Let me see it. But a Harlem Globetrotters lacrosse action. Love it. Lions got it with the shot clock in their favor. 30-second separation. So they can get a shot up here. Isaac Harrington going on the inside. Goes over to the middle, and Huntingdon's going to come up with it, it looks like. Under 30 now. And big contact again this time. No says nuh-uh. So that was Will Isley defending them up. About 10 seconds left. Huntingdon's got to get something off quick. Bench screaming for it. On the inside, Huntingdon works around. Big shot off the helmet of one of their players, but that'll end the half. 13-2. Some domination from the Lions over the Huntingdon Hawks. Some big goals, some big plays, and that's resulted to an 11-goal lead for the Lions, who will look to expand on it in the second half and walk out of their final home game of the year with a W. But we'll be back after halftime. This is Piedmont University Athletics on YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, the men's lacrosse team is dedicating today's game to the life and legacy of Morgan Rogers, a former Duke University lacrosse student athlete who died tragically in July 2019 after battling mental health struggles. Although Morgan's life was cut way too short, her legacy of unconditional love remains. Morgan's message was created by her family and former teammates with the mission to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health, normalize the conversations about mental health, and to ensure that mental health is treated equally to physical health for all student athletes. For more information on Morgan's life and legacy and how you can help those with mental health struggles, please visit morgansmessage.org. Ladies and gentlemen, remove your hats for a moment of silence and remember of Morgan Rogers. Thank you. We will return for second half action from the WAC between Huntingdon and Piedmont.
And we're back for some second half action between the visiting Huntingdon Hawks and your Piedmont Lions. Grant Prather here with you. Eric Edmondson by my side. Tristan Hutton on the camera. And to bring you the third quarter play-by-play action, Eric's going to take it over.
Thank you very much, Grant. Third quarter action of this showdown of the USA South between the Hawks and the Lions. And there's another showdown happening right now between me and the Sun. So, folks, we're going to bear with us for the rest of this one. It's springtime, summertime, so that sun doesn't hit sundown until, goodness gracious, what would you say, 8:45?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's the matchup of the century is the sun between Eric's eyes.
All right.
Yeah.
I've been told since I have lighter eyes that it makes it harder to see.
That is true. Yeah.
Is that true?
All of my friends with blue eyes always have to wear sunglasses.
I thought
do
that was like
sometimes too.
Instagram horoscope nonsense.
I guess not.
Yeah. So right now, Huntingdon continues to cradle the ball. LaGrange hasn't played a sport here. I don't know where I keep pulling them from.
It's the red. It's the red.
I guess so.
There you go.
Baseball. They were here last weekend.
That is true.
Gotcha.
Yep. 3 games. Hey, there were some long games in that mix.
Including a extra inning bash.
Beautiful game.
So Huntingdon moving around in the X. They pass up to the top line defense. Again, it's a defense that likes to guard the cage really well. They don't necessarily like to spread out and go attack the ball. And we noticed that in the Pfeiffer game that sometimes didn't work to their advantage. But here against, obviously, a lesser opponent in Huntingdon, it's working to their favor.
Yeah, if you had a lot of good skilled players that know how to do a lot of one-on-one moves or cradle the ball well, move quickly, get good spacing between them, that's where that cage guarding can really fall off. And you got like Vikos out there with a lot of physicality. That does help your cause a little bit. We'd
love to see the Lions defense get a little bit more physical than they usually do come tournament time. I'm sure they will be. I'm sure the boys will be amped up and ready to play. Heck, it doesn't take a lot of amping up for this squad to get ready to go.
No, not at all. High energy.
They're always chomping at the bit for a good competition. Huntingdon taking their time here. They got 5 seconds on the shot clock. They're got to hurry quickly. And I don't know if they got the shot off in time. I think it's going to be a turnover. Yeah. So Lions are going to get the ball back for the first time here in this third quarter in the second half. Again, your score 13-2. Lions just up by a boatload, about 11. Pretty comfortable lead there. And looking for more as they blitz down the field. Isaac Harrington, good to see him back out and moving around. Got to watch that right knee. They got a brace on it right now. Harrington goes over to Isley. We have Hasbrook and Avila. Zach moves his way through. Avila finds a pass. Hasbrook marching through, surveying, gets a check on the legs, goes to Harrington. Harrington loads up and slings it, and it ricochets off the net of Angst. Wrestling for it now right on the line. It was kicked over, and I think that's going to be a Huntingdon ball after that one.
Looks like his stick actually might have
yeah?
hit a Huntingdon player.
Yeah.
Came up grabbing his head. Yikes.
And Max Peak entered into the game. Long stick defender in the backfield for the Lions. Freshman. Huntingdon again just taking their time trying to find a way to break through this Lions defense. They've done it twice before. One of them was by breaking the defense, by deconstructing it. The other was just a well-timed shot from well outside. Motioning forward, they take a bounce pass shot there from the laces of Tristan Dial. And that's going to be a Huntingdon ball once again, as going over to collect it is Nost. So Nost has it at the X behind the cage and looking to get around a lot of the defense. Vikos all on him. Good defense and being physical as we like to see him do. Avila back in the defense. Max Peak hits the ground, but he's back up running after a brief stint on the turf. Huntingdon now 10 seconds on the shot clock, trying to manifest anything here, trying to get around this Lions defense, ready to move at the twitch of anything is the Lions defense. And looks like Philip Bell has found his way into the game. Philip Bell will be in the goalie spot, perhaps for the rest of this one. I'm sure if things get a little out of hand, then we'll address that as need be, but right now, he'll find his spot there. Here is Joseph Whitmore. He'll hand it off to Bice. Nick Winter trots onto the turf as well. So that trio newly entered for the Lions. Winter taking a couple checks on the shoulder. Hands it off to Whitmore. Whitmore pushing his way through. 2 defenders. Moving on and quick. Now a trio of them. He pushes his way through. It's out of the laces. It's going to be re-picked up here by Ian Parr. Parr spins out of the way. Double of defenders on him again. That one bounces through, and it's going to be collected by Angst.
What a spin move by Ian, though, to break those 2 defenders. I don't know how he kept the ball on his stick. Goodness gracious.
Moving quickly here is Huntingdon. Trying to upset the defense for the Lions. And now everyone rushing back to protect Bell and Cage. Huntingdon bounced down, and Vicos is there to help out Bell. I think Vicos trapped it on the turf so Bell could just have it. Just kept it right there and said, hey, look behind you. I got you.
The defense does look, it looks a lot different with him in it now. I know that Huntingdon isn't Pfeiffer. They're a little bit of a lesser opponent like you mentioned, but it looks like they have a little bit more of a presence out there now.
It's like they have their set defenders, and then they have someone who's roving out there. There's someone out there who's really patrolling and really just hounding that ball wherever it is.
Just hitting people, too. That's what they did. They didn't have physicality at Pfeiffer.
No, they didn't. Yeah. I don't know what the approach was there, but yeah, the Pfeiffer, it lacked explosiveness from the Lions defense. It lacked the ability to just shove someone out of the way. And it's not like the Lions were physically overmatched in the sense that there's any bigger guys on the Pfeiffer squad. It's just a matter of game planning. I feel like they just came in with a different game plan than Pfeiffer executed theirs and countered their game plan very effectively. Hasbrook picks this up off a grounder. And moves his way through, tries to spin it through Angst, but the Angst man blocks it with his knee. Ball's still in play. It's going to be scooped up by the long stick defender for Huntingdon, who finds his way to Angst. Angst out of the crease, has to get rid of that early, or else Harrington was going to cause him a little bit of trouble. But his defense is there to pick him up off the pass as they kick it across midfield. Excellent job, trio defenders by the Lions all over that one, as that forces a skip shot left of the cage. That shot by Andrew Jabara. Lions defense now really set in. They got a trio up top in the midfield protecting. Of course, we mentioned Vicos in the back, ready to be deployed as need be, ready to move as need be. Huntingdon pressing their way through, trying to find an easy sight at Bell, and everyone converges on this ball. Knocks it loose. Over is Marston to pick it back up. To the top where Tristan Dial handles, and now they pass it around even more to the far side. Huntingdon and the X looking to spin around and get Bell off guard, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Good job by Marston to take control of that edge and destruct it as the Hawks move up a little bit closer. It's now a 10-point lead.
Yeah, that's not really one you blame on Bell. 5 seconds left in the shot clock. The defense pretty much collapsed just to let that Huntingdon player go right up close to the net.
So we get ready for another face-off. Is Colin Huckabee being tasked with the face-off. Unable to win that one as Huntingdon comes away with it initially, and they're able to get that tricky pass off. And that's a tip of the cap there. That was a hard thing to overcome. He had a trio of defenders on him, and he was able to pass it off to Brennan Britton, who comes back into this game. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left here in this third quarter with the Lions up 10. And I don't believe they've scored this quarter. They've kept it pretty tame and given Huntingdon a lot of opportunity on their own end. But the defense has been rather strong apart from that last goal. Phillip Bell sets up in the cage, and everyone tumbling for this one will have a whistle. And we'll see if this goes in favor of Huntingdon. I think it's going to, as the folks in red continue to clap on the sideline. Huntingdon traveling a little well this evening. Made the trip from Alabama.
It's a long drive. What is it, like 3.5 hours?
Every trip to Alabama is going to be long. Unless you're going to Auburn, unless you're going to Birmingham or Tuscaloosa, every trip to Alabama is going to be long because you have to go through the highways. You have to go through the highways and back roads and such. There's no straight path to Alabama. Similar up here to North Georgia, there's no straight paths to anywhere. That's why it takes about an hour to get to Dahlonega, even though it doesn't look that far away on the map. As that one bounces out, that's going to be a Huntingdon ball. Now, not complaining about the country roads. I love taking the scenic route. As that one's recollected here by the Lions. Good job by Alec Long to put the laces in front of that one. And now he takes it almost all the way downfield. And he's being harassed pretty well by a trio of defenders for Huntingdon. And they're going to take that ball away. So Alec Long maybe hung on to it for a little bit too long. And now Huntingdon looking to have the ball and steal it away. And McGriff able to kick it out of the path of the defender. That's Austin Smith who lost it. Now the Lions open themselves up a scoring opportunity here. And you would love to get that goal back.
This is one of the first times we've seen them on the offensive end this quarter, too. They've been doing a great job on the defensive side, but we haven't seen a lot of the white jerseys on this end.
No, we have not. Nick Winter and Miller Bice passing between each other. And that is going to find its way into the laces of Joseph Whitmore. Whitmore trying to juke everybody out, push his way to the top. He's going to go to the side for Nick Winter. Winter at the top, spin around to the other side of the arc. Goes to Bice. Inside, Harrington splits it through and is blocked off by Angst, and Parr over to collect that. What a good job by Angst to block that one up, and it was a good look by the Lions, Grant.
Yeah, Huntington's defense has stepped up. I think they had a couple tough sets in the beginning. You know, obviously those 6 goals in the first 10 minutes weren't going to help you, but since then, they've adjusted fairly well, and Angst has settled in.
Whitmore trying to find his way to somebody, but it's deflected by a bunch of sticks there. And it goes right into the path of Angst, and now Angst will disperse it between his defenders. Oh, a missed pass there, and the Lions are going to be able to take advantage of it. Looking to at least convert this into a scoring opportunity. They got to get it across midfield first. And the first step in that, getting it to a guy like Miller Bice, who will promptly hand it off to Ian Parr, who's such a focal point of this Lions offense. And the Lions have opened up a new window. Noah McGriff passes it off to Zach Avila. Lions has Brook in the back. Here's Avila trying to get past Britton to the defender. Avila getting hassled a good bit. Lions trying to creep on the edge, and a good pass inside. McGriff able to rattle the cage, and Lions move up 14-3. Good job by McGriff to find himself open and collect the pass, and he made it look easy.
Breaking a little drought, too. That's the first goal they scored in a minute. That was a much-needed score on the board.
Yeah. And obviously this game not out of hand at all. But you just want to make sure that you're keeping enough distance and keeping yourself comfortable so you're not adding any artificial stress to what you're doing right here tonight.
And don't necessarily play like you're even up by a lot anyway. Obviously, you don't want to keep piling on the goals, but you want to make sure you're still in your correct sets. You're still putting effort in. especially, with playoffs looming around the corner.
Yeah, playoffs are looming. We've mentioned it before, but this is the last home game of the regular season here for the Lions. And assuming Pfeiffer will host the tournament, they'll travel to Greensboro next, and then on the 26th of April is the USA South first round. The Lions look to punch their ticket back to the championship. Got a long road ahead of them, though, and they got some tough opponents to face. And Whitmore, an excellent look from way outside. He's able to put it in from the top of the arc, and the Lions get a pair of goals here in quick succession in the third quarter.
Look, JoJo's got some good speed. That's his main thing, right? He was able to travel from that left side of the net to the center immediately and get a quick shot off. That's his main thing, and the Lions like to utilize that on offense.
So 15-3, a now 12-point lead for Piedmont. And coming out of the scuffle with that one is Tristan Dial. Dial moves his way a little bit closer to the Lions' cage, and this is the first scoring opportunity Huntington's had in a hot minute. Lions defense setting up for any sort of offensive push. 40 seconds on the shot clock and just about 2 minutes 30 left here in this third quarter. And a good job by Bell to slide and save that one, as he'll collect it and fire it off to one of his attackers. He'll find his way to John Dieterle. And Dieterle, right at the crest, will hand it off to Noah McGriff.
Big outlet pass, though, from Bell to Dieterle. That was like a quarterback taking a deep shot to a wide receiver. He had to get a tight window on that, and a good catch by John, too.
Demorest Fire Department strolling through the neighborhood. We've seen them stop off at an athletic event here a time or two. We'll see if they do the same here. Looks like they might. Some good lacrosse happening on the field for the service members, or hopefully they're not on call. Hopefully they're on a good break for them. I know they work very hard. As that's a grounder scooped up and stolen away by LaGrange as they move towards the cage at a rapid pace. Bell unable to block that up as it bounces over his head, and LaGrange gets it right back. Excuse me, that's not Bell in there anymore. That's Trey Tuggle. Our eagle-eyed camera spotted that one out. Thank you, Tristan.
Trey's kind of the future of that goal, too. Isley's a junior, so he's graduating after this one and after the season, and Trey's a sophomore, so got 2 good years left in him. He was hurt, I know, for a lot of last year, I believe, and so it's good to see him out there.
And what a pair of guys he has to learn under in Bell and Isley. Isley is a real good stop back there. This one taken away. Moving with it is William Gary. And Gary will hand it off. Cradling that well was Harrington, and he'll hand it off to Miller Bice as the Lions look to burn the final couple seconds on this clock here in the third quarter. Just under a minute. That's about how it lines up with the shot clock. So they'll probably get one off and then call it a quarter and then take it to the fourth. Whitmore actually trying to speed things up a little bit here and get himself a goal. He'll get it over to Noah McGriff. McGriff back over to Miller Bice. Bice at the top. Inside, Harrington trying to swing it down low. And Ian Parr there to collect that, as it'll be a Piedmont ball still. Parr with just about 24 seconds left. Trying to find his way to Isaac Harrington. It's going to roll free and be collected by another member of the Piedmont Lions squad.
Looks like after that play, Parr came up grabbing his thigh. Maybe that's a cramp. Maybe it's a pulled hamstring. I think it's just a cramp stretching it out. He got up on his own power and then fell right back down. I'm assuming it's a cramp out in the turf, but yeah, that's in a late third quarter up 11 goals for Ian. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah, flexing the foot there. He's gripping the calf. I think that is a cramp.
Yeah, thankfully enough. It's not too hot out here, but that still can happen when you've been playing for so long and you hadn't had a lot of water. That's
there you go.
Thing.
There you go, Grant.
A little slip of the tongue. happens.
And again, this isn't the first time that we've seen the turf monster eat somebody up today. Got Isaac Harrington, got Miller Bias, although I don't know if it was the turf monster that necessarily was the culprit of that one. Maybe a lacrosse stick there. But Ian now flat on his back. Think you're pointing that out, Grant. Guys got to stop doing this.
I know. It's giving me...
We're so close to the end here, guys.
Little mini heart attacks.
Right?
I'm sure in the fourth quarter they'll pull Ian out.
I'm sure we're going to have a couple of substitutions here late, just trying to get the guys their final minutes, especially the seniors here, their final minutes at the WAC.
Definitely. I could imagine them getting pulled, with a couple minutes left in the game. They can get some applause instead of having to just have the fans realize in the fourth quarter, they're out.
This is taking a little longer than expected. Ian Parr still trying to get that leg stretched out by our great athletic training staff. No one on the field seems too concerned about it.
There you go.
There you go. He's trying to get back up. And he's going to come off with his own power. Sure, that's going to be the last we see of Ian, and going to get a little bit of help here from the athletic training staff, but just someone to lean on a little bit.
I mean, cramps are a nasty thing.
Hey, they're nasty, man.
It's your muscles tightening up. That's dangerous.
I woke up with one the other night.
Oh.
I don't even play a sport. That thing nearly killed me.
Truly, Unk. He cemented himself.
Grant, I didn't tell you, but well, no, I did tell you. We were playing wiffle, I hurt my hip.
Oh, yes, he did. Was that when you lost 14-6? Was that when that happened?
I'm old. You're beating up on an old man.
Hey, my stinker got
How
better.
does that feel? His elder abuse as Huntingdon scoops and steals this one away in the final few seconds here of the third quarter. And that lob shot is going to be no good. We'll take it to the fourth with the Lions still up by a bundle. You're watching Piedmont Lions Lacrosse on YouTube. Yeah. Welcome back to the WAC, everybody. Eric Edmondson here with Grant Prather. Tristan Hunt on camera for us this evening as the sun sets. And Grant, not to take too many minutes from you. Play-by-play time, my man.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, you said shadows are, coming over. They're just a couple little bits of sunlight around the WAC here, around that turf.
Splotches and aisles of it.
Now I'm really blocked by the sun. This stinks. Goodness.
Well, that's what you get for being that tall.
Give me like 5 minutes. I'll be fine. I had to. It's a blessing and a curse. I'll say that. Huntingdon going to come out with this one as it'll go back to Angst. And they'll work with it. So Huntingdon's had a lot of possession time. Second half, Lions have backed off a little bit. Obviously, they had 13 going into halftime, only scored 2 in that third quarter, excuse me. It was 2-2 then, as we'll have a whistle here.
A timeout?
Yeah, quick timeout. I wonder what that was
timeout.
for. Interesting.
Right on.
So, I mean, just as soon as we came on, we're going to have to go right back out for the timeout. But, hey, let's take a quick break. This is Piedmont University Athletics on YouTube. And just like that, we have returned to the WAC 15-4. Lions taking care of business here as, now that sun's starting to go over the trees. Huntingdon with it. Just trying to get some sort of points up on the board, some sort of goal up on that scoreboard. As they'll work it around and almost a little bit of sigh of relief somewhat for Trey Tuggle. Allen Fort's Max Peak getting the stick up and the ball goes up in the air. Should roll on out of bounds as Nose can go for it, but Huntingdon will stay with it. They got 40 on the shot clock. Lions looking to defend here. I see a lot of new faces in the lineup. I'll have to get you those numbers later, but a lot of new faces, a lot of numbers we haven't seen. As this one's going to fly right past Trey Tuggle. Shot missed. Huntingdon working around with it. They got 10 on the shot clock, so time's really running thin for them. Quick flip pass over, not to be. That's good defense from Austin Mecca. Also future roommate. There you go.
You got the whole squad here, Grant.
I do. I know. I'm like an honorary lacrosse player.
I'm about to say, how did NARP like you
I know.
find yourself in that area?
Us NARPs, man, we're different. We're different. I mean, me, Winter, Mecca, and Dieterle next year should be fun. So now Tristan Robles, newly entered, goes also to the newly entered Jack Hicks. I don't say his name too often, but he's getting some good fourth quarter reps. Good pass over to Miller Bice. Miller falls in the turf, sticks with it though. And it'll work over.
I wonder how many, if you could quiz or you could collect from freshman year to senior year a Piedmont athlete, any sport that plays here at the turf, how much of that black turf you have taken out of your cleats?
Ooh. What, are we pulling a scale out for this?
You would have to, right? I would figure it has to be at least like a quart.
It would take too long to count.
Maybe more?
Yeah.
Well, you would have to weigh it.
And, I mean, just right on cue, obviously. Of course, ruining your call this time, and he's hitting the guitar celly. Go get him, JoJo. Goodness.
Let's hope it was a guitar celly, not a jaw celly.
Yeah.
Jaw.
Yeah. That's. I mean, you never know with Mr. Whitmore.
Well,
You never know.
I don't see anything being tossed into the audience.
At least I think that was Whitmore. That might have actually been McGriff. I saw it was a 1. Either way, hey, playing some sort of solo. Yeah, that was definitely McGriff. My apologies on that one, but goals are going nonetheless 16-4 as we're having a little bit of fun here. Again, final home game. A little bit of bittersweet for some seniors here. It's a good way to go into the Greensboro game on the road on Saturday and then obviously into the playoffs. Signing with it, some other faces that we see right now. Andrew Coffey, freshman's out there. Eric McHouston, also freshman. McQueeson, excuse me. Max Peak still out there. Trey Tuggle obviously still in net. Again, Tristan's up there. You see John Dieterle somewhere out there. Miller's over there in the corner. And, of course, Noah McGriff. And then number 25, Daniel Thomas, the final name I didn't mention.
Daniel Thomas, watch out. He's on goal watch.
His first career goal on the way. Big milestone. Always a good thing to see some early milestones being put on by some freshmen.
I think Daniel hit that already.
Did he?
I think he did.
Oh, I see.
Let me double check for you.
Got a lot of freshmen on this team, though. Zach Avila, the junior, will work his way in. He'll call off Daniel Thomas himself right on cue. 30 seconds for the Lions. There's about 11 minutes left now. Zach will work it in. Couldn't hit the pass over to Miller. Miller took a tough tumble on his right leg. Thankfully, he's up and okay. Looks like he could have tweaked his ankle if he would have landed a bit differently, but thankfully he's up good.
Yeah, 5 goals for Daniel Thomas. So he's become not a fixture, but he's gotten his good minutes.
Jack Hicks would be on there. Coffee would be on there. There you go. Yeah. Daniel Thomas, possible future. Always good to see some up-and-coming talent. With a roster this big especially, you got to see who's a contender and who's a pretender. Thankfully, I don't think there's a lot of pretenders in this roster. They all come to play.
The Lions have a great roster. They have a very deep roster. You know, you look at some of the other people and other teams in the USA South, they're not as deep, they're not as depth-worthy as the Lions. Right? I say this every single time. That's these depth pieces for all of our teams get in. You know, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And so it's always just very important that they get a lot of these reps in. And as many people as they have, the weakest member of that strong chain is going to continue to roll for a good time.
And a good save by Trey Tuggle immediately. And went back in, but it didn't count because the whistle was blown before.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is, as loud as Coach Dunton may be, he's a good coach. So that's a good thing to see for those freshmen. You can implement the culture that they try to instill in that locker room. However interesting it may be for a lacrosse team located in Demorest, Georgia. Gotta love it. It's always a good time with these guys. That's the biggest thing. So Nick Winter. Hey, the current roommate right now. You know, we were in freshman year, and he didn't have a roommate, and he asked me on Snapchat, he said, hey, do you have a roommate? And I said, no, I need a third. And he goes, you want to do it? I said, yeah. And that's how it started. So Piedmont working with it. With 30 on the clock, it'll go into Whitmore. Whitmore whip pass to Miller.
Gosh.
And Bice, million miles an hour, whips it by.
What a fantastic shot. He was able to keep it that low to the ground. He was able to just level that as he did. What a great shot there by Miller.
He's had some good stick work. That's his biggest strength, really. A lot of speed behind his legs, too. He came back from his injury very, very strong. I think he was a good talent when they recruited him. He took a tough tumble. I think it was in practice, I want to say, that happened. He had a brace on his knee pretty much the whole year. I remember him walking into an English class I had with him with crutches. So John Dieterle at the crest for the face-off. Under 10 minutes, near under 9 now, as Dieterle will win the face-off and hit it to Colin Hackshaw, sophomore sports communications major, fellow Field to Fans podcast member. Shout out. And work it around back to Nick. And go over to Whitmore. And the Lions will work in quickly. Number 28 for him. This is Drew Wilson, sophomore. Drew hails from Savannah. Going from southeast Georgia to northeast Georgia. Nick Winter with it, 40 on the clock. Goes over to Whitmore. Back over to Drew. Wilson getting hounded by the defender there for the Hawks. Goes back over to Miller, 30 on the clock. And it's Whitmore juking to the right. Goes over, whip pass, and a shot from Winter, not to be. Just a little bit wide left. Looks like it got tipped a little bit, so 18, but it gets reset to 60 since it hit the net. I think it hit the bar, actually. Might even hit Ank's stick. So Whitmore, now they got a full 60. Drew Wilson. And a big Big shot by Daniel Thomas. Went straight over the net. Looks like he got pulverized as he shot it, so it went way high. 42 still on the clock. Lions stick with it. Stay in possession of it. Drew behind the net. Now with 35. Drew works his way inside, finds Miller behind his head, couldn't get it to go. That would have been a beautiful connection for Miller's second goal. Now he's trying to get a little bit defensive action, but the Hawks will flip it back to Angst, and they'll have a possession of their own. Man, that would have been beautiful.
Wouldn't have.
Ah, man. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. So the Hawks in that blazing red uniform will work their way back. Defending is Brandon Casement. New name we haven't said. Johns Creek product. Junior. Standing at 6'2". So the Hawks will have it. The Alec Long defending him. The senior. Big whip. And it's going to be also Logan Honig in the goal. Newly entered freshman. Rocking the sweats as the sun's down. Getting a little bit windy now. Starting to get a little bit cold if you're standing still. Sun's finally down below the trees, so I can actually not have to squint for once. Hawks working it around. Whip shot. Goes over the head of Honig in goal. Missed shot, 24 on the clock. And Casement on the defense. Black stick working well. Big shot. Again over the head of Honig. And a lot of long errant shots by the Hawks. 13 on the clock. Got to work quickly. Got 5 now. Good defense by Alec Long.
Ooh.
This one's punched out. Yeah, that'll warrant a flag. Yeah, big contact. The shot clock buzzer goes off, but 2 flags flew in the air as soon as that happened.
Yeah, it was a hit to the head there. Thankfully, he's okay, it seems. But, yeah, you could see the helmet spin. That's what it made me first, catch that, is the fact that the helmet actually moved on his head. Obviously, you never want to see that. Never want to see any shots to the head, intentional or unintentional otherwise.
That's why you wear a helmet. Lacrosse
is why you wear a helmet.
It's a contact sport. There you go. 6:15 on the clock. Huntingdon now at the 60-second reset because of that penalty.
Just under 6 minutes now.
Working our way on home. Big shot off the stick of Honig. Great save. Good
You're not
reaction
getting that
time.
ball back.
Yeah. Find that in the trees. Wow.
What a shot block.
Goodness gracious. His first save, too. That's a way to get into it. Tip pass. Missed shot. Great defense from the Lions here. Also, Sam Singer has entered. He's on the defensive end. Singer, the freshman from Cumming. He went to East Forsyth. Big shot saved by Honig. Ooh. Making a difference is Logan Honig, and John Dieterle now sprinting his way through. He finds a lane through the crest, and the defense will let him go right through. Can't go past that position line. 70 for John. He'll flip it over to Daniel Thomas. And Thomas settles it with Zach Avila as we're nearing 5 minutes left. Will Isley, I haven't said his name in a minute as we'll see a whistle. Oh, okay. Didn't see what happened, but Huntingdon has possession. So cradling near the stick of Brandon Casement. As Huntingdon will take their time here. Lions still with that defense that'll allow you to get through where they guard the cage. Settle it near the bench here. We talked about the depth of this Lions team. It's funny to see the difference in the jerseys on the bench for Huntingdon compared to the Lions.
Yeah. It most certainly is. And it just plays to the advantage of not just a on-the-field thing, of just a culture. Is just that everywhere you go, if you're one of these guys, you're going to see a brother in arms.
Whip shot not to be. Huntingdon will stay. Another whip shot. Good reaction by Honig to be there. Missed anyway. 22 on the clock for Huntingdon. Be a long, long bus ride home for Huntingdon. We weren't exactly expected to win this game, as we'll see. Looks like a full reset for the shot clock. So take what I said back. 60 seconds, but yeah, long bus ride home. Thankfully, probably no 85 traffic.
Maybe not.
Getting late
I
in the
don't
day.
think they need to. They'll need to get 80. They'll need to at least get maybe south of Atlanta, but you can probably hop on a Birmingham connector to get you back home to Alabama.
And a good save again from Honig, as he stays strong, man. Again, another good future piece that they will need. You know, him and Tuggle will be in a good contention for the goalie spot down the line once they get into their upperclassmen years. As Will Isley, the junior, goes to his junior partner, Zach Avila. As now you can start to bleed the clock a little bit, nearing towards 3 minutes left. As Drew Wilson flips it over. Daniel Thomas. Line's working it around here. It'll go to Hasbrook. Big run inside, goes back to Daniel Thomas at the back. It'll hit Hasbrook, couldn't field it. Yeah, he got held there. That's going to warrant a whistle. But it'll be Huntingdon ball. Ask questions later, I guess. 2:49 as we tick closer. And a flag came out. Looks like some words might have been said by Will Isley, I think. A little bit of late game theatrics. As Huntingdon was 60 on the clock. Working on the Lions defense. Austin Sprout on the defensive work. Casement, good defense and a good save by Honig. And working for it in the end, it was Andrew Coffey and a Huntingdon Hawk, but looks like we will see, I think it's just a mass substitution. I don't think it's a timeout here, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get final minutes for the seniors.
Yep, you see Eric Fuel come in, you see Pagano come in, you see Vikos. Coffee obviously sticking in there, but yeah, good to see these guys. Sentimental moment, you know, final minutes on that turf. It's a tough realization when you step off, but it's so fun in that last moment. It's been a lot of years and a great program. It made a big difference, especially this year with, you know, Fuel and Pagano had great years. Vikos, you know, stepping in, having a great role today. Just congratulations to those guys on a great career, as that one's going to be just knocked off. Good save by Honig, but yep, best of luck to them in the end of their calendar school years and graduation, all that. Under 2 minutes. Lefty passing around. Huntingdon works it in. On ever closer on Eric Fuel. Whip shot, another save by Logan Honig. Man, he has been strong in this fourth quarter.
You can hear that one ricochet.
Yeah. Vikos, Euro step. Are you kidding me, Carson Vikos? Keep on going, buddy. Carson keeps going, gets the stick up, holds on.
He spun the stick.
He's still going.
He spun it like a baton.
Oh, my goodness. Absolute trickery from Carson, and he takes a tumble. And he's back up. He's a beast. He can't be stopped. Somebody calm him down. That's how you have some fun at the closing minutes. Wow. Wow.
You could tell he was gassed from all that.
It's like a big man pick six in football.
Oh, goodness.
Wow. Doing all that with a knee brace on. What a guy. Props up to Carson Vikos, but props up to the Piedmont Lions as this one will end. Should be 17-4 barring any crazy happenings here. Maybe just 18-4 if anything, but yeah, they'll just try to bleed it out. Noah Glenziski, excuse me, that's Alec Long. Caught myself at the last second. Holding on to it as we're under 30 seconds. The Alec Long, senior. Looks like he will be the last one to hold on to it. So So the Lions will come out of this one with a good conference win as we go through the last 10 seconds of this one. Alec with a spin move on the inside. Tried to hit McGriff, taken away by Angst. Big clear, and that'll wrap it up. So the Piedmont Lions win 17-4 in the closing home game of the season. One more game for them. They'll travel to Greensboro on Saturday for a good conference game for them. Oh, again, only loss for them to Pfeiffer. But a good win today nonetheless, Eric.
Yeah, much needed after that Pfeiffer game. This is definitely going to, if the Lions weren't reset before today, they're definitely reset now on a good win. So they will take this one all the way to the bank and just look to keep on rolling as they still got plenty of action ahead of them.
Yeah, USA South, April 26th. That's the first round. Semifinals on May 1st and the final on May 3rd. But for now, 17-4. And this will be the final lacrosse home game here for us on Piedmont University Athletics. Eric, your final men's lacrosse broadcast.
Yep, I before coming here, I didn't even know any liquor rule about lacrosse, but goodness gracious, 6 hours of talking will do that to you.
Doing that for a while.
But coming into last year, I was asked if I could start calling lacrosse, and I had never called lacrosse before at any point at all. So I had some folks stick with me through the growing pains, and now, of course, I come out of, as you should, you come out of college a little bit richer than when you left. And I'm just so happy that I was granted the opportunity to do so with this school and with this program. And I believe, is there any more women's lacrosse games?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they finished with Methodist. That was probably their
so this is my last time at the WAC.
Yeah. And it was a pleasure being on with you for all these different lacrosse games. Yeah.
So the WAC was the first place I called a game here at Piedmont. It won't be the last. Won't be the last place I call a game here at Piedmont. But it's Timorous Fire Department says sayonara for the rest of the evening. See you later, boys. I'm sure they'll be back at some point. They like to camp out in right center field for the baseball squad. They still got a home series left. I believe that might be that's some of the last action.
I'm pretty sure that is the last home series for Piedmont. That's next weekend.
Well, that for all sports?
I believe so.
Because I don't know if tennis is still.
True.
I don't know if tennis still has anything going on.
That's one you'll see from us.
I was about to say, that's the last broadcast you'll see from us is going to be that baseball series here at home to end it. And again, my final time here at the WAC. It's been a pleasure, folks, through all the men's and women's soccer trials and triumphs, through all of the women's and men's lacrosse trials and triumphs. You got to stop me, Grant. Keep on going on and on. Man. But Grant, you're going to be taking the reins. I'm proud of you, man. You keep on rolling, and why don't you go ahead and bring us home?
Yeah, of course. And it's kind of turf field, the WAC. Of course, Eric, and for Danielle Percival, Joseph Garwood, the amazing athletic communications crew over there on the table, doing double time today. I had to do 2 softball games. Are you kidding?
Can it count as quadruple time? Goodness gracious.
And of course, Tristan Hunt on the camera. Eric, by my side, his final lacrosse game at the WAC and game in general. My name is Grant Prather. Saying hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday evening, and hey, have a good weekend when it comes to us. Again, you'll hear from us next on this YouTube channel from the Maryville series for baseball, their final conference series. But for now, we're going to say sayonara here from the WAC. And of course, go Lions.